Chumriap Suo. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this delicious coconut jello with basil seed. And what is basil seed in Cambodian? Basil seed in Cambodian called krop chi. And this black little seed, when you add water and leave it in the water for at least 15 minutes, from a small portion, a black seed, it will expand to a bigger portion. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to prepare this simple, delicious dessert for you and your family at home. Okay, let's get cooking. You can easily find all these ingredients from any Asian grocery store. You will need some water, some coconut milk, some basil seeds, some sugar, some agar powder, the Champion brand, or you can also use the fish brand, some salt, just a little bit, some food coloring with some flavor if you want, or you can use just the plain food coloring. This one is the banana flavor. I also use the pandan flavor, which is green colors, and I also use the ube, which come in purple color. And here is the basil seed. It is black. It is really tiny little seeds, and you can pick them up from any Asian grocery store. I'm using 1 tablespoon of basil seed, but you can use less because toward the end of this video you will notice that there will be some leftover. So to avoid there any leftover, if you don't want any leftover, you can just use 1.5 teaspoon of basil seed, and after you can add 2 cups of water. You can stir for a bit, and after you can let it soak in the water for at least 15 minutes, and after 15 minutes it will expand. We will need to mix 2 kinds of jello. So one is the coconut base and the other one is the clear one. Right now I'm going to make the mixture for the coconut base. 1 can of coconut milk, and the brand I'm using is this brand, Avoid D. This brand has the most coconut milk. It has about 70% compared to the other kind of brand. Okay, after that you will add ½ cup of sugar. For every 550 milliliters, you will need 1.5 teaspoon of agar powder, but in 1 can of coconut milk there is only 400 ml, so we will need to add 150 milliliters of cool water. I don't recommend using warm water because the warm water will not dissolve the agar powder, but instead it will make it clumpy. Now you can also add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And here is the agar powder, the Champion brand. Like I said, you can also use the fish brand. So you will need 1.5 teaspoon of agar powder. After you add all the ingredients, including the agar powder, after that you're going to stir and mix well. You will need to stir and mix well until everything dissolves together. It is hard to tell with coconut milk when you try to mix everything well together if it has dissolved, because you cannot see through what's underneath. So you want to make sure you stir at least 1 minute to 2 minutes until you feel confident that everything have dissolved. And here it took me about 1 minute until I dissolve everything. Like I said, sometimes it may take you longer. You will need to mix 2 layers of coconut jello. The first layer, which this one in this pot, is the coconut layer, and next I will show you the other layer, which is the clear layer. In a separate pot, you're going to add 550 milliliters of cool water, ½ cup of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and the same thing, you will need 1.5 teaspoon of agar powder. With the same method, you're going to stir and mix well to dissolve everything together. In this pot, it is going to be a clear layers of jello. You can also add some basil seed in these layers as well, but I will show you what I mean in a bit. For easier process, it is best to mix 2 pots of jello. One pot is for the clear layers and the other part is for the coconut layers. When you pre-mix it, it will help with the process so much easier. And another tip that I like to share with you, you can also preset your silicone molding, but if you don't have the silicone molding, you could also pour it into a bigger container that is a little bit deep, so that way you can have a jello in a container rather than in the silicone molding. The basil seed, after 15 minutes, it looks so good and expand from a small portion to a bigger portion, so I'm going to show you how it looks like. And here is the basil seed after 15 minutes. And next, we're going to drain the water out and rinse it a couple times with cold water. So this way, it will clean up all the dirt that may stuck in the bottom. I'm going to drain it out. You can drain the water out, and after you can rinse it with cold water to get rid of any dirt that may stuck in the basil seed. The basil seeds, when they expand, they will clog up the fine drainer, so you can use fork to stir it around, so that way you can drain the water out so much easier. You can set aside so the water can drain out some more. The 3 bowls we will use to put some food coloring, and the one that I shown you from the beginning of the video. And the flavor that I'm going to use is, this one is the banana flavor. You can also put up to your discretion. It doesn't have to be the exact amount. I only put a little bit, for about ½ teaspoon in this one for the banana flavor. And here is the pandan flavor. I also put about ½ teaspoon as well, or not even that much. Like I said, if you want more flavor, you can put more, or more color, a deeper color. And here is the ube color, which will give the purple color to the jello. And I'm going to put about ½ teaspoon as well. In each bowl, I put 2 tablespoons of basil seed that we soaked. You can also put more if you like more basil seed in your jello. Like I said from the beginning of the video, that there will be some leftover. There is some leftover. I realized that after, but I end up eating them with sugar and some coconut milk in there anyway, so you can also do that too. But like I said, if you want less, you can only soak 1.5 teaspoons, just like I said from the beginning of the video. You can stir and mix well so the color is spread out evenly. And another thing, if you don't want the flavor, you can also just use normal food coloring to give it some color. You don't have to use the same kind that I'm using. You can set these 3 bowls on the side for now, and next I will show you how to cook the jello. We will start with the clear layers, or the bottom layers of the jello, and this one we will bring it to boil. You can turn the heat to high heat, and after you want to constant stir until the liquid become boil. To prevent any clump that will form in the bottom of the pot, you want to make sure that you will constant stir and will stir very often, so that way there is nothing that will set in the bottom of the pot and it will make the jello really clumpy. Once the liquid is boiling, you want to keep on stirring, and you want to keep stir for 30 seconds when it is boiling before you start to turn off the heat. And once you turn off the heat, right away you're going to set the other bowl, or pull the other bowl in, the one that we set on the side, and after you can pour the liquid that we just finished boiling, the liquid jello, into the 3 bowls. Right now you can pour these liquid jello into these basil seed bowls, and you also want to save some liquid if you want to for the plain jello layer. And here is the rest of the jello liquid. You can pour it into a separate cup. For the plain jello liquid, this one is for some people who don't like any basil seed in their jello, and this way it will give you 4 kinds of jello. Since the liquid jello with the one with the basil seed, that one is a bit cooled down, so we will start to pour that into the silicone first. Since it is cooled down, so it is going to set a bit faster, so for the clear coat you can leave it for now. You can use this one is 1/4 cup. Pour in there. Start with that first. And the next one. And after you finish with the basil seed jello kind, now you can start to pour the plain kind and finish the rest of it. And here is the coconut milk layer, the top layers. We're going to do the same method. We're going to bring the liquid to boil. With the same method, you're going to turn it on high heat, but you want to make sure you constant stir, so this way there will be nothing set in the bottom. And again, when it is boiling, you're going to let it boil and also keep on stirring for 30 seconds before you turn off the heat. I realized that I have quite a bit of basil seed left, so what I did, I add 4 tablespoons of basil seed in this cup. And after I poured the liquid jello for the coconut layer, the top layers, and pour it to make it like about 1 cup. You can stir and mix it a little bit, and after we're going to pour these top layers into the one that we set earlier. And when you are pouring the top layer, you want to make sure that you start with the side that you start first, so that side is firmer. And here I want to show you, if you pour it too soon when the jello is not set, this is the clear coat, it will go through the jello. So like I said, you want to make sure that you start with the side that you pour your jello, that you let it set and it a bit cool down already, or it more firmer. And now you can start to pour the rest of the coconut basil jello on the top layers. And another thing that I want to share with you, let's say that you don't want the basil seed in the bottom layers, you only want the plain layers. Before you start to cook the top layer, the coconut layers, you want to make sure that you let it rest for at least 5 to 7 minutes before you start the process of the top layer, the coconut layer. That way you will give it at least 10 minutes to let it set and cool down so it's firm before you start to pour the top layers in, so it sets better. And now we can start to finish off with the rest of the top layer, the coconut layer. So we will start again like this side here, because it is more firmer. And within this clip, I also want to share with you, let's say you are pouring it, you want to make sure you don't want to pour it too high, because if you do, like you see there, it will break and it will make that part there like it break through also. If you are using the same silicone that I'm using, you will need about 22 silicone moldings. And like I said, you also can use a bigger, deeper tray to pour your coconut jello. Either way, it would work. Give it at least 20 minutes so it can get firm and set. And after, you can take them out from the silicone, or you can put them straight into the refrigerator. Okay, that is all to it on how you can make this delicious coconut jello with basil seed. And I hope this video is easy and simple enough for you to follow so you can make this delicious coconut jello with basil seed for you and your family at home. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share with your family and friends. If you are new here and you are looking for more video like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more delicious homemade recipes. You can also follow me on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye for now.